Story once again. So President Cyril Ramaphosa has ordered Basic Education Minister Siviwe Kwagube to implement the Basic Education Laws Amendment Act from today. Ramaphosa says the decision has been endorsed by the leaders of the parties in the Government of National Unity at a meeting held today. But let's get reaction to this. We're now joined by Sadtu spokesperson Nomusa Cembi to get the latest. Nomusa, good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, this has been a conversation that has been going on for months, to say the very least, in the country. The reaction to the statement from the presidency.
Good evening, and good evening to your viewers. Yes, we welcome the statement from the president. And we said from the beginning, when the bill was signed into law, we said there was no reason to suspend or to delay the implementation of clauses 4 and 5. We are happy that at last they have seen the light, and the two clauses are going to be implemented in full.
Yeah, of course, and that's, I think, a lot of the surprise here, is that the statement actually having said that this is really for the full implementation of the BELA Act. And if I read from that statement, the president saying, I have instructed the Minister of Basic Education to see the full implementation of the BELA Act. Is this something that you were surprised was going to happen perhaps so soon? Just this week, Sadtu talking about wanting to even take this matter all the way to the courts, so that I suppose to put some pressure on the president to authorize the implementation of the act.
Yes, we have been putting pressure on the president. Last week, we issued a statement calling for the president to ensure that the two clauses are implemented by the 13th of December, and there was no response. And then we said we will go to court and we'll also embark on industrial action. So we are happy that he has seen the light and has done as we had requested, and we believe that there are many more who really had no problem with these clauses. If you may recall, when the bill was passed in Parliament, it was passed by an overwhelming majority in the National Assembly. So a lot of we believe that the majority of people in Parliament and ordinary South Africans really had no problems with the two clauses. So we are happy that at last the two clauses will be implemented as well as the rest of the act.
And of course, that statement saying that from now the implementation needs to take place. And I'm keen to hear your thoughts on what would happen with say the sort of timeframes that would be expected here as we get into the new academic year in 2025, what some of the concerns may be. You know, we spoke to FEDSAS just under an hour ago, the Federation of Governing Bodies of South African Schools, here on Channel on Newzroom Afrika, and what the gentleman from FEDSAS says is that they expect that there could be very well a tussle between school governing bodies and education MECs in the first few months of implementation, because it's not going to be a fast turnaround time. Do you agree with that? Where do you see challenges where the implementation of the BELA Act is concerned?
These clauses, they give powers to the HOD to have the final say. So we believe that the HODs should do things by the book. And if they do not, the HOD has every right. He has a final say in whatever that they are going to come up with. So it will be upon the SGBs themselves whether they comply or they choose to fight the HOD. We see no problems, but we just want to see SGBs and the HODs working together to find solutions in schools. We don't anticipate a tussle. We would not want to see a tussle between the two, but we just want to see compliance.
Yeah. Any sort of concerns that you might have around the role of the Minister of Basic Education? Of course, this is a minister who's also part of the Democratic Alliance that's been very outspoken against the implementation of the BELA Act as it sits, and a message, if you will, then from teachers or from Sadtu for the Basic Education Minister, Siviwe Gwakube?
As a minister, she's expected to implement what has been signed into law. And if she's not prepared to implement what has been signed into law, then she will be violating her position. Then if she cannot implement, then she should do the right thing and resign from the position, because it will mean she's not abiding by what the country dictates that she should do, as well as the presidency, as well as her department. Now the law, the act is in place. She should ensure that it is implemented. And if she doesn't implement it, then she would have to recuse herself from the position.
Yeah, well, clearly the effort that you'd put forward to, where you're looking at heading to court then to put pressure on the president, obviously falling away. But anything that you are going to be watching closely as Sadtu moving forward, anything that you'll be wanting to pressurize, whether it be education or whoever it is moving forward as a teachers' union?
Yes, there are many issues that still confront us. The issues of, you know very well that the Western Cape had said they are going to freeze posts, 2,400 posts, and we are having issues with austerity measures that are really squeezing posts, and that are affecting the issue of norms and standards in our schools. So we are looking at that issue, and we are going to put pressure to ensure that the issue, that austerity measures that are being put really are not affecting education negatively. They are currently, but we are going to put pressure to ensure that they do not.
Yeah, Nomusa Cembi, we really do appreciate your time. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Nomusa Cembi is, of course, spokesperson for the South African Democratic Teachers Union. We're going to get more reaction on that story.